Let's begin. Today is October 25th, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 5 criteria cards. Criteria card 1, 6, 13, 17, and 19. And the puzzle uses the orange verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So on the grid above, we've got our 5 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D, and finally, criteria card E. So criteria card A takes a look at our first digit, the triangle digit, and compares it to the number 1. Should the value of triangle be equal to 1, or should it be greater than 1? Criteria card B takes a look at our middle digit, the square digit, and the Turing machine will let us know whether its value is an even digit or an odd digit. Criteria card C will compare our middle and last digits, square and circle. So should the value of square be less than circle? Should they be equal? Or should the value of square be greater than circle? Criteria card D will take a look at our 3-digit solution, and the Turing machine will let us know how many evens there are in our solution. Are there no evens? Is there a single even? Perhaps 2, maybe even all 3 are even. And finally, criteria card E will take a look at our first 2 digits, triangle and square, add them together, and compare the sum to the number 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should it be equal to 6? Or should the sum be greater than 6? And remember, the objective of today's puzzle is to find that unique 3-digit code that abides by all of the 5 criteria cards we just discussed. And we're going to start off with an initial proposal of 314. So the first thing I'd like to test is criteria card B. Okay, so the Turing machine does not approve of my choice for square. Notice that I did choose an odd 1, but because the Turing machine does not approve of it, it's actually letting us know that the value of square should actually be even. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section B. And that is that square is an even digit. And since it is even, let's go ahead and cross out the 3 odds. So crossing out 1, 3, and 5. Okay, so let's see, what else can we say? Well, we do have criteria card D letting us know how many evens there are. So far we do have 1, so obviously you can't have 0. Could you have all 3 be even? It's possible. Let's see, what else? I think I'd like to test criteria card E. Okay, so the Turing machine does approve of my choices for triangle and square. Notice that criteria card E adds the first 2 digits. So mine are 3 and 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 is less than 6. And that's what I'll write in our note for criteria card E. And that again is that the sum of triangle and square should be less than 6. And so what can we say about that? Well, in order for the sum of the first 2 digits to be less than 6, that means that neither triangle nor square can be 5. And that's because when you add 5, even to the smallest of 1, that's already 6. And of course, if you add anything larger to a 5, it's just going to go even greater than 6. So let's go ahead and cross out that triangle 5 value. And so far we're looking at triangle to be between 1 and 4, and square to be 2 and 4. So let's see. If the sum is to be less than 6, I think we can also cross out triangle 4. And that's because if you add 4 even to the smallest of 2 in square, that's 6. So yeah, triangle shouldn't be 4 either. Okay, what else? I think 3 is okay because you could add it to 2. Of course, it wouldn't be 3, 4, but 3, 2 does work. And I think that's about it. Don't think we can cross out anything else. So let's see. We also have criteria card A, which compares triangle to the number 1. And also criteria card C that compares square and circle. So which one could potentially be most beneficial going into round 3? Well, I think I'm just going to go ahead and test criteria card A. Okay, so my choice for triangle is 3, and 3 is greater than 1. So that means, yeah, triangle cannot be equal to 1. So let's go ahead and type that up in our note for section A. And that is, again, that triangle should be, greater than 1. Okay, so that just means that we can cross out the single 1 in triangle. Okay, so before we conclude, is there anything else? Are all the options for triangle and square okay? Specifically concerning criteria card E. Yeah, I guess you could add 2 and 2, triangle 2, square 2, not 2 and 4. Oh, well, this is interesting. Okay, so that forces square to be 2. Square 4 will not work because 4 added to either 2 or 3 would either be equal to 6 or exceed it. Wow. So I think that's pretty good. We're going into round 2, knowing that square has to be a 2. Okay, fantastic. And I think that's about it. All right, fantastic. Well, yeah, this does conclude our round 1. We did complete our 3 Turing tests. Now we're going into the phase where we'll be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So notice we did not test criteria card C, comparing our middle and last digit, square and circle, and we also did not test criteria card D, discovering a little bit about the number of evens in our solution. Okay, so I think from the first 3, even though we did get an X in B, that did reveal that it's an even. And so what can we say? It really does fall now to C and D. So what could happen if we compare square and circle? So I guess depending on the number of evens, there are 3 choices where circle is greater than square. But the part that I guess differentiates it is that maybe the number of evens would help us pick 4. It could be equal. They could be equal. And there's only one case for that, and only one case where square is greater than circle. Let's let's see, what else? So even though, let's see, again, yeah, the number of evens should help us determine what triangle should be. Do we include the 2 or not? That's basically what it boils down to. How many evens there are. I guess potentially, let's see. Obviously, as stated, we do know for sure that there's at least one even. Can you have 2 or 3? Yeah, I guess there's some discussion as to how many. 3 is possible. 2, 2, 4 seems the most logical solution. And if there are 2, perhaps maybe if there's 2 and squares to be less than, that would be 2 and 4, and then that forces triangle to be a 3. I think that's probably the most likely solution, because it couldn't be, I don't think you'd be able to figure out between 2, 2, 3 and 2, 2, 5. They're both greater, but how would you distinguish? So I think, I'm going to go with 3, 2, 4. Let's see where that leads us. Okay, and now that I picked 3, 2, 4, is there a way to deduce one or the other? If I know the number of evens, can I deduce which is bigger, square or circle? Or are they equal? Or should I test that and maybe I can deduce the number of evens? Let's go ahead and test criteria card C. Okay, so it is not true that square should be less than circle. Okay, so we know that my 2 for square and my circle for 4 do not conform to what the Turing Machine wishes for criteria card C. Okay, so let's go ahead and type it up as square is either equal or greater than circle. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes. And again, that is that, square should either be equal to or greater than circle. Okay, so that means, since we already established that square is 2, that means circle cannot be a 3, cannot be a 4, or a 5. Okay, so that's very interesting. And again, either square is equal to or greater. Well, now we're down to criteria card D, the number of evens. Well, I guess if there are 3 evens, it'll be 2, 2, 2. I guess it could be just a single 2, a single even, and that forces triangle to be 3 and 1. Oh no, I think I may have to go to a 3rd round. Oh wow. Okay, so let's test D. And okay, luckily, yeah, there are 2 evens. So let's go type that up and then we'll see what the implications are. So in our notes for section D, we'll say that the solution has 2 even digits. Okay. Well, very interesting. I am. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go to a quick third round. So let's go ahead and type it up. List possible solutions. So we could have, let's do triangle 2 first. And of course, square has to be a 2. And so it would follow that circle would be a 1. Okay, that's one possibility. Actually, that may be the only possibility for triangle 2, since square's force, is already established to be a 2. So yeah, 2, 2, 1, and then, or 3, 2, 2. Is that it? Yeah, because either triangle is 2 or circle is 2. You can't have both. Yeah, 2, 2, 1 or 3, 2, 2. So yeah, it really does fall to, is square equal to or greater than? Okay, yeah, and I don't think there's any way to deduce that. I don't see it. Yeah, we're going to have to go to the third round. And so I think I'm going to pick what would be the most obvious. Or not the most obvious, but the most likely case. I'm going to choose 3, 2, 2. First, though, let me go to the next round since I don't need to complete a third test. And so now it's prompting me for my proposal, and I'll say 3, 2, 2. Okay, and again, we're having to test criteria card C comparing the middle and last. So let's go ahead and test C. And that is incorrect. So it is not true that they should be equal, since square and circle in my proposal are both 2, they're both equal. That is incorrect. The Turing machine does not approve of that. So square has to be greater. So in fact, that means that 2 needs to be greater than 1. And so let's go ahead and cross out the 2 in circle, which means that I can't have an odd in triangle. I need an even. So that looks like the solution to be 2, 2, 1. So let me just type this up really quick. And let me go ahead and cross out the case where they were equal. Okay, and just quickly review, is triangle greater than 1? Yeah, it's just a 2. That's fine. Is the middle digit even? It is. Is square greater than circle? Yeah, 2 is greater than 1. I do have 2 evens, and the sum of the first 2 is less than 6. So that looks great. Let's see. Let's go verify. 2, 2, 1. 2, 2, 1. Okay, fantastic. But truly, how did we do versus a Turing machine? Well, we did have to go to 3 rounds. We have 5 criteria cards. We did 6 tests. Let's see how that plays out. So in the first round, we did A, B, E, with B being incorrect. And then C, D, the remaining 2 tests in round 2. And we did C one more time. And yeah, so A, B, E. Okay, so A was correct, B was incorrect, E was correct. Second round, C was incorrect, and I forgot what D was. D correct? Yeah, D was correct. And we did C on the third round as well, and that was incorrect. And even though we did tie on the number of questions, it did take me a third round to, complete the 6 questions. So that's sort of the tie break, and it's a loss. But let's go back and see. Yeah, we did have to test C 2 times. I don't know. I'm always kind of torn by, obviously, yes, of course, if I would have tested maybe C in this first round, I wouldn't have been hamstrung to go to the third round. Typically, that always happens to me when I don't test criteria card E, the sum of the first two digits, compare it to 6 in the, in an earlier round, and I have to go to a third round. So this time it was C that spoiled it. But yeah, I just don't know. Maybe it would have been maybe better not to test A. Perhaps maybe it was obvious that more than likely it would be greater than 1. I'm not sure. But how did you solve it? Did you not fall into this trap? Were you able to do it in 2 rounds? What did you choose? What criteria cards and in what order? Share your thoughts and add them to the comments. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up so that more people can find the channel. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe to be notified and not miss out on any future videos. Well, until next time, have a great one.